to the show.
Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for stopping by today. Glad you could do that, and we're happy to be here with you. We enjoy talking with you every day, sharing with you what we can, what we believe will and can make a difference in your health, wellness, and well-being. Sometimes the things I report on are just intriguing and interesting, and you may not see a direct impact or relevance to your health. Although it might be there, it might even be tenuous, but oftentimes it's not tenuous. You just have to catch the implication. Some of that's going to happen in this first hour today, where I'm going to share a story with you where science and business collide, or when business influences the business of science, and what can happen, and the consequences of that. And they can be grave. They can be so serious. In society, when you take sociology classes and history classes and whatnot, you learn about how important culture is in a society, and the norms, the mores of society, its values, right? How we comport ourselves, from politics to religion to family. You know what I'm talking about. Within culture itself, there are subcultures of one kind or another, as we know. And the food culture is one of those subcultures. And one should not underestimate the impact of the food culture on the destiny of a culture and its health. We certainly understand, we know that, as we witness every day now, how politics, the culture of politics, impacts our destiny. We all get that. But sometimes, and people have a general sense and understanding and appreciation for food and what food means, and how food affects us. I mean, even the most uninterested person in diet and nutrition and food gets that. It's not hard. You don't have to go to Harvard and major and become a dietitian to figure that out. That being said, however, I do believe that there's an underestimation of how the food culture is woven, as it's woven into the culture itself, influences our destiny in significant ways. And when business gets into the business of science, then there's an issue. Scientists are supposed to be, as the term goes, objective, not influenced by monetary, mercenary, or otherwise the money, or some other reward, whatever it might be. Use your imagination. And we want to, just as in politics, we would like to believe that our elections are legitimate and not rigged and not influenced by other countries like Russia. We want to believe that, and we work for that. Same with science. We as a society expect scientists to be ethical. We expect them to be righteous. We expect them to do the right thing even when nobody's looking. And that's the thing. Many scientists, as you hear me say, work in obscurity. And the only people that really know their work are other scientists who read the journals that 99% of the population does not read. Maybe 99.9. And they go, but they're prestigious in their world and in their realm, they're known. So we expect something from science as we expect something from our political institutions, our religious institutions, and so on. And food scientists are especially important because food is not just food. Right now, you, as a regular listener, maybe and viewer of Let's Talk Nutrition, know that we are in to say the grips of an obesity epidemic is an understatement. It's destroying the health of this culture. It's destroying the health. I'll repeat. It's one of the biggest threats to the health of our nation as we speak in the 21st century. It's got to be in the top 3 threats to health. It's not only undermining the health of the society, the real people, but it is putting such a burden on the medical system and all matters related, like insurance, health insurance, and so on, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, go down the line. It's unsustainable. Something's going to have to give sooner or later. But that's a story for another day. My point is that the food culture is a ever-present, dynamic culture that is flexing its influence over the culture. So as the story goes, and this goes back to the 1960s, where business got into the business of science. And some of you may be familiar with the story. And so today, in this first portion of the show, I will tell you the story, and then you will see and understand how or what happens when scientists literally get paid off. And what the consequences are. So, and we always invite you, we always invite you to join in the conversation. You may know something about this narrative, and we would ask you to share if you're inclined to do that. And there's a number of ways to connect and join the conversation.
You can call us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Or reach out to us on Twitter at Let's Talk Nutrition, one word, or on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, one word also. Don't forget, go to letstalknutrition.com and you can see all the shows that are coming up next week and our guest. You know that's on there, Doc. It's on the show schedule.
There you go. And we are coast to coast, including Hawaii, and we're global. We might tell you a thing or two about that a little later in the show. And we are in about 63 markets right now across the U.S. Thanks to you. That can't happen without you. So today, in this first portion of the show, science, sugar, and money.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day, giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. So, pardon me. 50 years ago, back in 1967, the sugar industry decided that it was going to do something to help itself. An article published in the Journal of the American Medical Association's Internal Medicine. The researchers in the article, and I'll reference them in a moment, use internal documents. They somehow are able to get a hold of some internal documents that provide documented evidence that the sugar industry, called the Sugar Research Foundation, that organization in the sugar industry, the SRF, had a goal to refute, they say in the article, in the JAMA article, concerns about sugar's role in heart disease. Prior to the 1960s, there was research showing that connection. And the sugar industry was keenly aware that this was not going to be good. To say heart disease and sugar in the same sentence, they knew was not going to help them. So what did they do? The Sugar Research Foundation somehow ended up sponsoring some research by Harvard scientists. Now, this wasn't some, little state school in some obscure town somewhere. This was Harvard. These are Harvard scientists that are implicated in this scam and scheme. So they published the article in the New England Journal of Medicine in 1967. You can go and read the article. They didn't disclose that the sugar industry was funding the research for the article by the Harvard scientists. Okay? So they were lying by omission. The sugar-funded project ended up being what was seemingly just a standard literature review. They weren't manipulating data. Well, they were. They weren't doing experiments. They weren't collecting data, either descriptive or inferential data. They weren't doing any of that. They were reviewing the literature. And they looked at a number of studies and experiments. It was suggested, or at least they said, these Harvard scientists, that there were some problems with all these studies that they were reviewing that tended to implicate sugar with heart disease. So what did they do? They used a strategy of distraction. And they said, no. There's problems with these studies. Our literature review, our objective scientific opinion in conclusion is that it's not the sugar that's causing heart disease. It's a three-letter word. Fat. And in particular, saturated fat. And they reached the conclusion in this 1967 article that if you remove the fat from the American diet, health will be ours. And that would be the most strategic and efficacious way to address coronary heart disease epidemic. Heart disease was the leading cause of death then in our country, and it is still the leading cause of death. So the authors of this new article in JAMA contend that for the last 50 years, 5 decades, mind you, the sugar industry has been, based on that very first published study in 1967, has attempted to keep that strategy of distraction in play and downplay the relative risks of sugar and heart disease while vilifying fat. Now you may say, what's the harm? The answer, plenty. The implications of them doing that are manifold. If you got these scientists from Harvard saying, listen, don't worry about the sugar. It's just fine. It's the saturated fat. What did people do for the next 5 decades? You had food companies. You had scientists. You had everybody focused on fat, and people are consuming sugar, not worrying about it. And then we had, some believe, the germination of the obesity epidemic, where they were adding sugar to food, more added sugar. And one of the co-authors of the study, Dr. Stanton Glantz, said this in talking to the New York Times. It was a very smart thing the sugar industry did, because review papers, especially if you get them published in a very prominent journal, tend to shape the overall scientific discussion, close quote. That is exactly true. The documents revealed, these scientists got their mitts on them, that the sugar industry was not only attempting, but was influencing scientific inquiry and debate, and then ultimately what people would eat, and then further down the linear chain, their health. Outrageous. Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show and whatever you may be doing. Sharing with you, there's a study in the Journal of the American Medical Association's Internal Medicine Journal talking about how the sugar industry 50 years ago shaped the food culture in our country by getting involved with the researchers at Harvard and they funded the research for these Harvard researchers to do a literature review and end up concluding that it wasn't sugar that was causing heart disease, it was saturated fat. Then for the next 50 years, this debate has gone on, and this whole idea of low-fat diets, because it was believed, and then you had the seven countries study that was conducted, and that contributed to the whole idea that saturated fat was Ansel Keys' study. Dr. Keys, that also contributed to this vilification of fat. Now, just as a sidebar, let me be clear, and I'm on the record for this. It's not either one or the other that causes heart disease. It's both. How about that? And then add salt to that. Salt, sugar, fat. That trio of nutrients, when manipulated and put into the food chain or food culture in such great prevalence, has contributed mightily to the decline of our health as a country. I've referenced him many times. He's a New York Times reporter. His name is Michael Moss. He's a wonderful reporter, journalist, and a great writer. And his book, it's winner of the Pulitzer Prize. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. Salt, Sugar, Fat, How the Food Giants Hooked Us. And they did. And people say, these foods aren't addictive. You know what I say to that? Starts with the letter B, baloney. Food is addictive. The food scientists, all those PhDs working for Coca-Cola and all these other, is that the way they say it in Kentucky? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. The way they, they're busy figuring out the bliss point, exactly how much sugar to put into the food. I'll share a little bit more with you about that.
And they combine that with sodium, and that just makes it...
Salt, sugar, and fat. All three. They figure it out, Gary. It's amazing. And by the way, when you read Michael Moss's book, y'all may be thinking there's only one kind of salt.
Now, I've learned, so Angela has schooled me on the different kinds of salt.
There's different kinds of salt, and when you mix the salt, using the different forms of salt with sugar and fat, you get different effects. It's chemistry. This is all, these food scientists are basically chemists.
Okay, and which would probably affect how your endorphins. That's why you have the satisfaction when you eat.
Well, what they're arguing, people who advocate or believe that food is addictive, say that these foods, processed foods high in salt, sugar, and fat, affect the same neural pathways that are implicated with drugs and alcohol and how people get addicted, the addiction pathways, and that hedonistic part of the brain, if you will. So this is very real. Just think about this for a second. That one episode where the Sugar Research Foundation went to Harvard and they paid them $50,000 at the time. They paid Harvard 50 grand. At that time, that was a lot of money to do a literature review. That one piece of unethical behavior shaped the destiny of the food culture in our country until this very single moment as I speak to you. One review article. One.
In 1950, $50,000 is equal to $500,000, right?
Exactly. There's a lot of money back in the 50s and the 60s. That one piece of unethical conduct. Well, it was like a mat. You know what it was, Gary? It was like somebody went into a dry forest and struck a match.
Yeah.
It's all it would take is one match, and everything goes up in flames. And that's what happened.
Well, it goes back to your soy argument from yesterday, that if you got somebody saying soy's good, you got somebody saying soy is bad.
I'm not going to get in the middle of that. I'm walking away.
Right.
I'm not going to eat it.
And I can see that with you can see that with sugar, because everybody just jumps on sugar.
Well,
but
you know what? So listen, watch this. What this Coke, and I'm not picking on Coca-Cola. All right, they're one of many. Dealing in Michael Moss's book, and I highly recommend it. Dealing Coke to, he calls it dealing Coke to customers. You're a Coke dealer, but a different kind of Coke. Get it?
Yeah.
And the customers are called heavy. They're trying to get heavy users. It's amazing. And they sell to whom? They start them young kids, adolescents and teenagers. And why? Because they want to hook them for life. They want to get them addicted. And so Michael Moss in his book says that the food scientists have figured out how to tweak the ratios of salt, sugar, and fat to do what? Optimize the consumer's bliss point. One may think, oh, we're just going to jack it up and load it up. No. They're far too elegant for that. It's just like Goldilocks, just the right amount. They know just the right amount. And in certain foods, it changes. Whether it's a candy bar or a soft drink or whatever it might be. Cookies, crackers, cakes, chips, colas, cupcakes, candy bars, croissants, all those C words.
Cravings.
Which leads to cravings. Very nice. Very good. Attaboy. Just imagine one study, one, corrupt.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
you're in this business, you better tell the truth. And you better get a reputation of speaking truth to power. I've worked very hard at that on this show for 12 years. Sometimes to the consternation of some in the industry, but you know what? That's all right. They'll get over it. You're my interest, the audience. That's why we're here. And now, continuing my narrative about how the sugar industry influenced science back in 1967 with one review of the literature and put into play something to this very day that has affected the food culture. And that is, we now have vilified fat to the point where it's so ridiculous, and all with the intention saying, oh, it's not the sugar that's causing heart disease, it's the fat that's causing the heart disease. You know what? It's both. And Michael, what?
I know you're going to say something about this, but it just reminds me of there's a movie called Tommy Boy, and there's a point in the movie where he goes, does this suit make me look fat? And he goes, no, it's the fat that makes you look fat.
I know. I get it. And that one review article in 1967 in JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association, you can go read it. That was the match that struck and put the forest on fire. Michael Moss comes along, wrote a book a couple of years ago or so, Salt, Sugar, Fat. I want to share with you, I don't know how he got these executives on the record and how he got a hold of some of the documents. But let me share with you what his intention in the book is, to show how three ingredients, salt, sugar, and fat, became the key to the success of processed and packaged food industry. Those three ingredients, just those three, have resulted in tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars in profit, and are currently fueling, according to Michael Moss, and I agree with him, I stand with him, the nationwide global obesity epidemic. In his book, he begins a story back in 1999 when a vice president at Kraft addressed a meeting of top executives of America's largest food companies at the time. His topic was the growing public health concerns over obesity epidemic and the role packaged and processed foods were playing in it. This is like Lucifer talking about, why you shouldn't commit sin. It's ridiculous. But nevertheless, Michael Mudd was the executive, and he made his case. And he pleaded with these executives to pay attention to this health crisis, he said to them at the meeting, Michael Moss reports, and consider what companies could do to hold themselves accountable. So they were trying to get ahead of the curve. According to Michael Moss, the first response came from the CEO of General Mills after Michael Mudd gives his speech. So this guy gets up. He got up and made some powerful points. He said, "We at General Mills have been responsible not only to consumers but to shareholders. We offer products that are low fat, low sugar, have whole grains in them to people who are concerned about eating those products. Bottom line being, though, we need to ensure that our products taste good because our accountability is also to our shareholders. And there's no way we could start down formulating the use of salt, sugar, fat, if the end result is going to be something that people do not want to eat," close quote. Yeah, they're no way, no how, because they know that the salt, sugar, and fat are going to make those foods taste good. So what they do is, and since that meeting in 1999, when executives declined to, well, how can I say, really address the issue, these food companies have been using salt, sugar, and fat in the foods in ways that have literally hooked us. And that's what Michael Moss's book is all about. And he gets these he went to them and got them to go on record. That's what's astonishing.
Okay, so while you're talking about Kraft, I looked up one of my favorite products from Kraft.
Let me guess. Macaroni and cheese, something
of course.
to do.
Of course. Okay, and 1/3 cup. So hold your cup up and show them about 1/3 of a cup would be.
Well, it's hard to know here.
Well, that's what is that? 12 ounces.
Yeah.
So 8 ounces in a cup. So
it's not much.
A little bit below that red.
Yeah,
probably.
Not very much. That's not very much.
Probably 1/3 cup right there. Calories, as prepared, 350. Calories from fat, 110.
Mother of God.
Total
110 calories?
110 calories.
From fat.
From fat. Total carbohydrates, 16%. It doesn't even tell you. It's 47 grams. It comes out to 16% of your daily value based on a 2,500 calorie diet. Total fat, 80 grams of fat. 25 grams of saturated fat, 300 milligrams of cholesterol, 2,400 milligrams of sodium.
That's 1/3 serving of Kraft macaroni, mac and cheese. Now, that's just one serving.
One serving.
1/3 of a cup for you?
1/3 of a cup.
Oh, please. How many boxes of that could you eat at one time?
Well, a box only makes a cup.
You could polish off 3 boxes, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Think about all of that.
3 cups, yeah. Oof.
It's just astonishing. And it's all got, I mean, it makes you mad. And it's been perpetrated all along. The food industry, you know, they've been trying to push back, saying, no, it's not the sugar, it's the fat, it's the fat, it's the fat. No, man, it's all 3. Salt, sugar, and fat are the major contributors to heart disease in terms of food. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I posted Michael Moss's book to Facebook for us.
Come back. We'll shift gears, and Dr. Audrey Ross will be here. I'll get her to comment on this. Got to speak truth to power. Within Coke, they referred to their best customers as what? Consumers or loyal fans? No, they don't call them that. You know what they call them at Coca-Cola? Heavy users. Close quote. We'll be back.
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends: Virilomax, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension. Exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in today. Dr. Audrey Ross is my guest in this portion of the show. We always like talking to Dr. Ross out there on the left coast. You know, and we are coast to coast, including Hawaii, and we're global. Here's how to get connected. We love when you get connected to us and call or send us messages, and Gary's going to explain you how to do all of that.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255 anytime during the show, even when we have guests on, because they like to take questions too. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and at LTN Radio on Twitter. Don't forget, Dr. Garko's personal email is drgarko at letstalknutrition.com. And I had a question that came in over the Facebook Messenger from Rufino Pato. He said, did you know...
Pato.
Pato?
Yeah, it means duck in Spanish.
Duck. Did you know that Dasani water has sodium in it? And then he sent me a picture of the label.
Okay. Is that a Coca-Cola product?
Yes.
Okay. Dasani, the name, people think it sounds very Mediterranean, doesn't it? Italian, Dasani, right? Like some spring in Italy, someplace, maybe they get the water. That was a name that ultimately, as I understand it now, that was created out of focus groups. Dasani.
Wow.
There is. Type in Dasani and see if there's a place called Dasani or somebody called Dasani. I don't know. I don't think so. So, you know, it is about the marketing. And, yeah. I did not know that there was sodium in Dasani.
Yeah.
There is?
Yes. He sent me the label. I sent it to you.
How much sodium? Check it. We have vigilant listeners and viewers out there. And we love that when you send us that kind of information. I can't know everything. And I don't want to. That's too much responsibility. How could you? You can't. You can hardly keep up. There's so much. I shared in the first hour the not so sweet story about what happened in 1967 when the Sugar Research Foundation funded a piece of research at Harvard, paid them $50,000 to do it, didn't tell anybody, and the researchers at Harvard did a review of the literature on how it wasn't sugar that was the problem for causing heart disease. No, they said it was the fat. And that put into motion a debate that's lasted to this day, marketing that has been in the hundreds of billions of dollars in the last 50 years to literally get that message out there. Not tens of billions, hundreds of billions, I'm sure. And people bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And we now, to this very day, I wouldn't be surprised if a diet came out today, another rendition of low fat.
Okay, so what they do is on the label of Dasani water, it says purified water, magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, salt, and then it has an asterisk. Adds a negligible amount of sodium.
They don't tell you how much.
Minerals added for taste.
Right, that's fine.
Purified by reverse osmosis.
Right, that's typically used. Yeah. So that really influenced how we ate in our culture. Some say that this business of putting all the blame on the fat has inspired and is one of the primary variables or factors in causing the obesity epidemic, because added sugar to food is just off the chain. That one review article, as a researcher, it's the power of that, the persuasive power. And these food companies have hundreds of food scientists working in their labs, trying to figure out just the right amount of salt, sugar, and fat, what kind of salt, how much sugar, what kind of fat, Oh, my goodness. My guest, Dr. Audrey Ross, is keenly aware of this narrative, and she's an educator for Country Life Vitamins. Dr. Ross, welcome to the Let's Talk Nutrition. Long time no see.
I know. Well, thank you for having me. I always enjoy being here, and I was just thinking, last year we had a call about the same time because we were talking about diet and the holidays and all the things that we're eating. So it's like, whoa, deja vu. This happened last year.
Mm-hmm. So what do you make of... there's a new article in JAMA about this whole narrative, So.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's interesting is you talked about marketing. The marketing concept of things is that you have to be persuasive, and you have to have some type of study or documentation to say this is what it is. But few people really delve into the total research part of it, and how it was done, and who funded it, and what was actually used, and how many people, and for how long of a time. I always go back to, if we eat real food, we don't have to worry about that. And the prepackaged foods and the fast foods and the food industry in and of itself are actually feeding on our desire to get something quick and go.
Mm.
It's our lifestyle that has really demanded that. But back in the day, I remember when I was a kid, we ate from the garden. We didn't have packaged food. We never went out to fast food chains. We ate from the garden and from the farm, and eggs from the chickens, and we didn't have to worry about all the additives. But the fad dieting and, get rid of this in your diet will always cause an imbalance somewhere else. And it's back to that balance. Your body wants to stay in homeostasis. We need fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, and then trace minerals. We need all of those, not a lot of one and none of the other.
Here's the issue. All that you said is true, no doubt. Getting people transition a society from this way of eating, from the current paradigm that dominates the culture, and it's a processed food paradigm. Mm-hmm. Transitioning the culture, the population, from that paradigm to a whole food paradigm, we have a better chance getting everybody to become astronauts.
Oh, I know. I totally agree. It's what's happened. We've evolved into this fast food, fast-paced, so high-stress society that everybody wants a quick fix because they've got too many meetings to go to or something else to do. So actually taking care of our body comes in second.
So here's the way to do this, to make that transition. It's going to take generations, just as it took 50 years to get us into this obesity epidemic. And it starts with the kids. Mm-hmm. Healthy young children is the target audience. Healthy young children. You're saying, well, wait a minute. Shouldn't you focus on the obese kids and the overweight kids? Yes, but with the healthy young children, and then the recidivism, if you will, the success rate on getting even kids to lose weight and keep it off is not good either. That's the point. So that's where you have to start. Food. Young children, healthy young children, and you start. That's why I keep saying that diet, nutrition need to be part of the curriculum, just like reading, writing, and arithmetic, as they used to say. Mm-hmm. Has to be. It can't just be some elective course, some little course we take for fun. We're way past that now. It's got to get more serious. Anyway, I know that you had something prepared and put on the menu for today, so let's see what the chef is going to serve up.
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Dr. Audrey Ross, educated for Country Life Vitamins, is the guest today. Dr. Ross, welcome back. What did you put on the menu?
Well, I wanted to talk about digestion and enzymes and the things people have problems with over the holidays. Healthy digestion is a healthy holiday. And a lot of people don't really think about it, but when you have your Thanksgiving dinner and you walk away from the table feeling bloated and stuffed and want to go take a nap, that's really not what you should be doing. But digestive enzymes are so important. You know, our nutrients are broken down through digestion, and that's how we absorb and utilize them. So with enzymes and probiotics, and even with people who sometimes get that acid indigestion and they take the commercial products thinking that they're really good for them, but they don't realize some of the toxins that they have in them. So looking at the holidays coming up, and you know, we're not going to change society. I mean, it's not this generation, and I agree with you. We've got to start with the healthy kids. And looking at what we can do for them is help them with their digestive issues, because if somebody says, "Oh, I can't eat that, it gives me gas or bloating," it may be because there's an enzyme missing. Or they may feel, you know, the elimination process might be not doing so well, and then they may need some probiotics. So there's so much involved in our digestive tract that we have just beat up so terribly with the processed foods and the chemicals. So, you know, talking about enzymes and how they help and what type of enzymes.
Does the body make enzymes?
The body does make enzymes.
So then why do we need to take a supplement?
Because we have so many challenges for that process. We have to overproduce our enzymes, and we can only make a finite number of them. And once the enzymes stop being able to be produced, then you've got some real challenges with digestion. So if you can eliminate some of the taxing work on the body and let it work doing other things that it needs to do by helping with the digestive process. You see, when we eat packaged foods, they're void of enzymes. Nothing in there. When we eat raw whole foods, they have enzymes in, so then the body does not have to make enzymes. So that's why you see so many people with, salad before dinner. You're getting a few enzymes there to help with that digestive process, and digestion does start in the mouth with chewing and with the saliva, and that's another problem that we have with not chewing our food properly. So there's so many things that affect digestion.
Okay, so the body makes enzymes, and you need enzymes to help digest carbohydrate-based foods, protein, and fat, right? You have the enzymes to do that. And enzymatic action begins immediately in the mouth with amylase, right, trying to break down carbohydrate. So does the body, as we age, continue to synthesize the enzymes at a level that is optimum and adequate to do the job, or does that start to wane as we age?
It starts to wane as we age. And that's what we see a lot of times as we get older. We start having those digestive issues. And then we go to prescription medicine, which doesn't really correct the problem. It just silences the body screaming, hey, we need help. And digestive enzymes, I think, are probably one of the supplements that are most overlooked and really necessary as we get older, and even as children. Children who are fed fast foods and packaged foods, their poor little systems are working overtime as well. So we need to look at what we're doing and helping the body so it doesn't have to work so hard. There's digestive enzymes and metabolic enzymes, and enzymes are required for every single function of the body.
Okay, so let's focus on the digestive enzymes. Country Life has an enzyme product, yes?
Yes, we've got a wonderful enzyme product called Maxizyme.
Go ahead and break it down. No pun intended.
Maxizyme is vegan, and it contains the enzymes to help break down your fat, your papain, which is from papaya. We've also got a papaya chewable that helps with that. Lipase to help with fat digestion. Protease to help with protein digestion. Lactase to help with lactose digestion. Also, the alpha-galactoside ACE, which people don't really know about, but that helps break down things like beans and legumes and cruciferous vegetables. Bromelain, which when taken by itself, which comes from pineapple, can work as an anti-inflammatory, but when taken with food actually works to help break down proteins. And then the amylase for the carbohydrates to help support the saliva as well. So it's a really full-range digestive enzyme. It's vegan, so anybody can take it. One Maxizyme before a meal that you know you're going to be getting a lot of unraw foods, of processed foods. It's a great, simple, one capsule a day or one capsule with a meal. And people say, well, should I take it with every meal? Ideally, yes, but most importantly, if you're going to have a large meal that is void of raw food, I would say take it with that one for sure every day.
Okay. So that's with every meal. Is it just one capsule?
It's one capsule, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, if you've got problems with legumes and cruciferous vegetables, this is great to take for that as well. It helps break down that food, because that will sometimes cause the gas and bloating. So it helps with that. And then just as an overall support for the system. Now, if you're only going to have a salad and avocado and raw food.
All right, so you have a carbohydrate and fat there with the avocado and the salad.
Mm-hmm. But if you're eating it raw, that would not be a necessity to take it then. But you could if you've got problems with the digestive process.
Well, I was thinking counterintuitive. Well, maybe I have it wrong. We'll see. Come back. We'll see.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Digestive diseases, as a collection, if you will, is one of the biggest threats to the health, wellness, well-being, and quality of life of people. Welcome back to the show, and my guest is Dr. Audrey Ross, and I mean that not to be a hyperbolic statement. I mean it. Digestive diseases and disorders, and it's not just about gas, bloating, and diarrhea, as the commercials would have you believe. I mean, that's fine that they're talking about it on mainstream programming, cable and network. I get it. All right, that's fine. We're selling probiotics and this and that. But digestion is more about, digestive health is more about gas, bloating, and diarrhea. Trust me. Every itis disease, colitis, and so on, diverticulitis, pancreatitis, and so on, all those diseases and many, many more associated with the digestive system. So it is foundational to health, and once a foundation of anything starts to give way, the whole structure is put in jeopardy. Dr. Ross, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, people go out of their way to take these pills that reduce acid production because they have gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have an acid product at Country Life, don't you?
We came out with a brand new product. It's called Acid Rescue. And all those over-the-counter acid treatments start with calcium carbonate because that is a neutralizer of acid. But they also contain talc and cornstarch and a lot of things that are not good for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we came out with Acid Rescue, which is really a simple product, and it works. It's that clean, over-the-counter, like Tums. The people that they take those, they think they're getting their calcium for their bones and they're getting their acid benefit. And it's really not. That's not going to happen. So with our Acid Rescue, we've got the calcium, and then we have a little bit of magnesium. No fillers, no cornstarch, no anything that's bad for your system. And we have it in a mint and a berry flavor. It's also vegan. It's, of course, gluten-free. So this would be something that if people do have GERD and have those issues, this is a great selection for them with the Acid Rescue.
So how does this work?
Okay, so calcium is a neutralizer of acid, and it's a chewable. So you take that calcium into the system. That's 400 milligrams of calcium carbonate in 2 chewable tablets, and it helps neutralize that acid that's up to the top part of your stomach. That's really the simplicity of it. That's really all it does. When we go back and look at why do you have that problem, it goes back to just what you said, digestion. And that's where enzymes come in. And, you know, the Maxizyme is the top of the line, but we have others.
Is this product for people who have GERD?
Yes, they can use it. Certainly they can use it. But I always caution people, don't just treat a symptom. Let's look at what the problem is. Why are you having that problem? Is it because your enzymes are not there breaking down your food? Is it because you do have overproduction of hydrochloric acid? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So there's a lot of things that are involved with it. And a lot of times if people will start using the digestive enzymes, they may find that those other challenges or other symptoms will go away. And again, the Maxizyme is a great full broad spectrum. But what if you don't take your Maxizyme and all of a sudden, oh gee, I don't feel so good? We've got a papaya chewable that you can use. We've got, maybe you're sensitive to gluten. We've got a Glutenzyme that you can use. So we have a full range of digestive enzymes to help with that digestion. And when you think about GERD, that's a reaction to that whole system going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have to look at digestion and how it can help us be healthy, the digestion and the utilization of the nutrients in your food is critical. And if you don't break them down, then how can the body utilize them?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a full range. Plus we also have the probiotics, and those are important. But when we look at so many of those commercials that you see on television, they're all dealing with the digestive tract. And digestion is the key to health. We have to start there.
So, people that have, they call it heartburn.
Mm-hmm.
They have gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is a serious disease, because down the road, untreated, can lead to esophageal cancer.
Yes.
Okay. Does this product reduce the production of acid? What's it doing?
It's just neutralizing the acid that's there. It's not like an acid pump inhibitor. It's not like your prescription medications that do that. It just helps neutralize the acid that's there.
There meaning where?
In the gut, in the upper part of the stomach, where that reflux is happening.
Mm-hmm.
In the upper part of the stomach, you have that acid buildup.
Mm-hmm.
So it will help neutralize that acid. It does not do anything with the acid pumps or anything structural to the body. It just helps with the symptom that you're experiencing from excess acid.
Okay. And what's it called?
Acid Rescue.
Acid. Well, that's a clever name.
So I have a problem. Like, I'll eat, and about 4 hours later, I'll lay down, and then it feels like my insides are on fire.
Insides where?
In my esophagus and my throat.
Yeah. Well.
And then about in the middle of the night, around about 2 a.m, it feels like I'm throwing up in my mouth, and it's like it's just tearing me up. It's killing me at this point.
So he's, this is interesting. It's like a delayed reaction that he's having.
Right, because your food should be out of your stomach in 4 hours.
Oh, absolutely. So
and if it's not, there's a problem there. So are you taking any enzymes at all?
I just started.
I got him doing that.
Oh, good. Okay.
So how many different enzyme products do you have?
We have several that are really good. We've got the Maxizyme, which again, that's that broad spectrum, good for everybody. We've got the Dairyzyme, which helps with people who've got lactose issues. We've got the Glutenzyme, which helps with people that have gluten issues. We've got the Papaya Digestive Support, both for adults and for children, to help with just basic digestion with a few papaya.
Mm-hmm.
Papaya's got a great source of enzymes.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that we look at as our key features in the digestive.
You know what I'm surprised? All those books for dummies, electrician, how come they don't have like digestive enzymes for dummies?
I think you just hit on something we need to work on, Dr.
Yeah, I mean that would.
I wonder if people would be offended by that. You got a label that says digestive enzymes for dummies. Everybody knows that book series. In all seriousness, digestive enzymes are among the most serious threats to a person's health, wellness, and quality of life. 60 to 70 million people with digestive disorders.
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Boy, where does the time fly, as my dad used to say. Here's the LTN health question of the day. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, what or how many people in the U.S. suffer from digestive diseases? According to the Department of Health and Human Services, how many people in the United States suffer from digestive diseases? 40 to 50 million? 50 to 60 million? Or 60 to 70 million? 40 to 50, 50 to 60, or 60 to 70 million suffer from digestive diseases. Which one of those? I'll make it easy for you. I'll give you two choices. Is it 40 to 50 million or 60 to 70 million? Here's the number to call. With the right answer, you'll win a $25 supplement gift card.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
The commercials on TV, Dr. Ross, would lead consumers to believe that digestive health is just about gas, bloating, and diarrhea. It's more than that, though, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. And, I was thinking about Gary over the commercial break.
I think about him all the time.
Gary, have you ever tried the aloe vera, the Real Food Organics aloe vera?
No, I haven't.
I'll get you some.
Okay.
I have some. I have some. I'll give it to him.
Okay. I think that he'll know between the digestive enzymes and that should make a big difference.
Come by the house today and I'll give it to you.
All right.
So you take it this weekend.
Okay.
I'll
do a book report on Monday for you.
Yeah, I'll give you a full bottle, unopened. Isn't it true or false? Gas, bloating, and diarrhea are just symptoms of bigger problems.
True.
True.
Like
irritable bowels, you could have IBS and have all three of those, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I did. Dr. Ross, I used to be a police officer, and I suffered from irritable bowel because of the stress. Mm-hmm. And I ended up having like 3 or 4 GI series, lower GI series done in 1 year, and it was terrible. And then once I got away from the stress, I got better.
Oh, and there's so many things that contribute to it. That's why it's so important to get your food digested properly, to feed the probiotics in the gut, and make sure you've got that whole system under control. And that's a whole nother topic right there. But digestion is so important, and because when we don't digest your food, what happens? Just like you found Gary, you feel like you're throwing up in your mouth at night because that food is just rotting. It's not digesting.
Yeah. It's good. What'll happen?
Then you're wasting money because then you're always. I was always hungry. I was always tired, so I was always
because you're not.
Food.
If you don't digest the food, then it can't get absorbed, right? All right.
The nutrients can't absorb, and you always feel hungry because your body is never
nourished.
Fed the nutrients.
So what happens with the undigested food, Gary? It goes to your large intestine, and guess what it does there? It ferments. Hence, when things ferment, gas is produced.
Yeah.
Okay? So gas, bloating, and diarrhea need to be addressed in probiotics, digestive enzymes, fiber. All those would contribute to a good, healthy gut environment, but sometimes you might have a bigger issue that needs to be addressed on top of it, right?
Correct. That's where the digestive enzymes come in.
Okay. Here's the health question. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, how many people in the United States suffer from digestive diseases? 40 to 50 million or 60 to 70 million? I'll give you a hint. It's a lot of people. Here's the number to call.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
So when you're out in the field working, Dr. Ross, and you're going to you're the West Coast or West Regional.
I'm West Coast. Everything west of the Mississippi. Everything west of the Mississippi River is my territory. So I am gone all over in all different parts of the country west of the Mississippi.
On average, or let me put it this way: how frequent do people ask you about digestive concerns?
Every single week.
No kidding.
Every single week people are talking about it. Whether they're saying, will aloe help with this? Will digestive enzymes help with this? Should I take probiotics for this? People are having so many digestive issues, and I think that's one of probably the most common supplement that people come into stores for these days is something to help with digestion, whether it is they think it's just gas and bloating or diarrhea, but some people are going that step further and going, maybe I need digestive enzymes, maybe I need probiotics. Probiotics, the category itself is exploding. So people are being aware of it because they've got the challenges.
You all have probiotics, huh?
We do. We've got some great probiotics.
What are they?
Well, we've got Powerdophilis, we've got Acidophilus, we've got Daily Dophilus, we've got the Real Food Organics probiotic.
Do you have Dophilus for dummies?
I'm telling you, we could do a book. I'm telling you.
Enzymes for dummies, Dophilus for dummies.
Dophilus for dummies.
How could they sell books and call people dummy? You're buying a chemistry for dummies. You know, you're picking up the book. It's embarrassing. You go and I'm stupid. I need to buy this book. And they've sold a ton of them.
Billions of them.
So clever. That I must say. You know, the other piece of clever marketing, and I give them credit, I do, is, you know, the cows on the billboards. They say what?
Chick-fil-A, yep.
Eat more chicken.
Right. I remember
that campaign, that was brilliant. Absolutely. I don't know. They were probably in a room somewhere brainstorming, and somebody, you know, being paid a little bit of money said, you know, what about this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Let's go to Michelle in Palm Harbor. That's a nice place to live. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Hi. That was good. Boy, that's pretty bubbly. How many people in the United States suffer from digestive diseases? 40 to 50 or 60 to 70 million?
I'm going to say 60 to 70.
Yeah, and growing every day. Congratulations, you won a $25 supplement gift card.
Yay, thank you so much.
Well, you need to call more often, man. You're really upbeat. We like that. Call us, please. Just call and say, hey, how y'all doing?
Well, I enjoy your show tremendously. I'm excited I got through, and I can definitely use the gift card.
Absolutely. And I want to wish you and your family the best of holidays and the happiest and healthiest of holidays. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your nice compliment.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
See you next time.
I want to thank my nephews, Devin and Michael, for serving. It's Veterans Day, so thank you guys.
Oh, it is Veterans Day. Thank you for your service, every veteran. Thank you so much. Dr. Ross, thank you for your service, too. We appreciate it. Country Life Vitamins for digestive health.
Are you suffering